Hey everybody, Aural Retentive here, Mike. Special edition for today. I'm going to talk about a band today called Couch Flambeau. Now, if you're from the Milwaukee area from mid-'80s, you'll have heard of these guys. Not sure how widespread they are. I know their last album or two went nationwide, so but I don't know how many people have these guys. So it started with a tape. So I was going to school at UW Milwaukee, and there was a record store on the corner of Locust and I don't remember what the cross street was, but we went in there and would just pick up random weird stuff. And there was a cassette tape from a band called Couch Flambeau, and I picked it up. I think it was like at the counter, on a cardboard box, and said local, So I picked it up, and that was the cassette tape Curiosity Rocks. Now, I don't have that actual tape anymore, but I did make a backup copy of it on a TDK D90, top of the line. And then, this is kind of what I did back then. I would, buy an album and copy it and, listen to the tape. Because more often than not, I didn't have a really great setup for my record player, so it was kind of I relied on the tapes. But this has the okay. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the Curiosity Rocks tape, and if you go to Discogs and look at Couch Flambeau, you'll see the tape listed first. Then, not too long after that, this came out. This is Couch Flambeau's Mammal Insect Marriage. And, I saw this cover and I was like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, Couch Flambeau. They're the guys that, made that tape that made us all crack up. And so I had to get it. Let me backtrack a little bit. I wish I had a visual, but so this is my tape copy of Curiosity Rocks. So they had songs like Mobile Home, You Must Be from Cudahy, Girl with the Big Forehead, I Don't Want to Be an Eddie, and the tape was fantastic. How to describe their music? Sort of, kind of like Rush and Frank Zappa got together, but they got a little bit too drunk and went at it. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, the lyrics are mostly nonsensical. Jay Tiller. Well, here's a picture of Jay Tiller screaming into his pickups. This guy went on to become a Wisconsin state sheriff. Jay Tiller. I talked with him, and we'll get to that. I mean, we didn't have a conversation, but I talked to him. We handed over something to him at a show, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, this album kind of really hooked me up. It comes with this incredible lyric sheet, in case there's any confusion over the lyrics. I'm laughing, but it's like, this music just like totally took my head off. I was like, oh my head. This is on, this one is on Ludwig van Ear Records. I'm not sure what else they put out. So the recording studio was, you know, just down the road from the record store. Yeah, I can see Ludwig van Eer Records. So I had the tape, and I don't know what happened to the tape. Something happened to it. It's long gone, unfortunately, because that would be a riot to have. And as I sit here thinking about it, I might go on Discogs and see if there's any to be had. But this album, does anybody else have this? I've looked at eBay and I've not seen that this has ever been sold, so I have no idea how many they made of this. Probably wasn't, you know, billions. So, but this is their first album, first full album. You know, the tape came first. So, I was new to the, you know, UW-Milwaukee and college scene, and I really hadn't been to any concerts. That was, yeah, I'd been to see a concert with my folks. They took me to see a triple bill of, let's see, it was Barry Manilow, Debbie Boone, and someone else. I can't remember who the third person was. Yeah, so not my favorite show of all time. It was interesting. It was, I think it was at a college campus near where we lived. So, you know, it was an interesting concert experience. But that was probably pretty much it until I got to college. But then this cassette here actually has another first, as well as a backup copy of the Curiosity Rocks tape. You can see here a little notation on this. I don't know if that can read that. But tacked on at the end of Curiosity Rocks were two songs that I recorded from the Couch Flambeau show at the Kenwood Inn, 1983, which would have been my first year of college there. So I wasn't like a big bootlegger. My friend Jeff Allen, as he is known now, we would make tapes like letters back and forth to each other. You know, he lived in Denver and then later moved to San Francisco, and we would make tapes, you know, just talk to each other, you know, on tapes and then send them. I have a whole box full of these tapes that he sent me, and, you know, we played music for each other and whatnot. So I was really fluent with the little handheld tape recorder. I don't have it in here, but, you know, we're talking about like the, you know, good-sized tape recorder. So I actually brought that into the show tucked under my coat because I was totally psyched to see these guys. So I had the tape, and I had Mammal Insect Marriage, and we went to the show, and it was just a riot. It was unbelievably cool. And so I recorded these two songs. So that was my first bootleg I ever made. I've made several over the years, but that was my first one, and I still have it. So it's pretty cool. Yep. Ooh. Okay, so then they came out with more albums. And I don't show these in order, but these are what I have. So this is an EP, actually. It's a 5-song EP called Models. You can pick this up on eBay. This is on It's Only a Record label. This is a 12-inch 45. This has Models, White Boy Blues, Vipers, Satan's Buddies, and Song with a Message. Yeah, so that's a classic right there. So that's that one. And then we have this one. This is The Day the Music Died. See that? No, the light's terrible. There we go. The Day the Music Died. Again, this one's on It's Only a Record. This is from 85, it looks like. Yep, 85. What year is this? I think I showed these out of order. I think models came after. Yeah, this is 87. So these are songs from the upcoming album Ghost Ride, which I do not have, which I want. Sorry, I'm going to put this away. Nope, well, I'm going to put that over there. So, The Day the Music Died, this has The Zoo is Cool, You Hate It, It Hates You, We'll Go Through the Windshield Together, Santa Claus Skips Cudahy. I mean, these are super classics. Santa Claus Skips Cudahy and We'll Go Through the Windshield Together. I worked at a little mom and pop grocery store, third shift. And I remember when those songs came out, they played them on the local radio station, college radio, and they just cracked me up. Try to find those two on YouTube. I'm sure they're out there. So I actually have two copies of this because Dalton bought one for me, and then he had his own, and then of course I got it later. So if there's any, I think these are in like fantastic shape. So if anybody out there has an extra copy of Ghost Ride they'd like to trade for a copy of The Day the Music Died, contact me. And if you're a real hardcore Couch Flambeau fan, let me know who you are, because that would be interesting to find out. But I actually do have two bootlegs of Couch Flambeau. These are full shows. For you Madison area folks, these were recorded at O'Case Corral. By the way, so here's some more interesting fun historical facts. See, I don't know if you can read across the top here. Aural Retentive Records. Aural Retentive Tapes. It says, Aural Retentive Tapes, the finest in home taping, dubs, compilations, and bootlegs. That was my made-up recording company. I would print out these J cards so I could write all the songs down. And yeah, I was really into it. And eventually became a tape trader. And so I needed to make covers for everything, and it became a real process. Eventually I quit that because it was making me nuts. Excuse me. Anyway, so this is Couch Flambeau, live at O'Case Corral 1989. Dalton and I went to that show. We were standing in the crowd and recorded the whole show. At that point, I had gotten a more, less conspicuous tape recorder. Although I doubt anybody would have, come and pulled me out of the crowd for recording them. But this show was great. So they came back in 1990. So Dalton and I were like, "Oh, this is totally cool. Let's make a copy of the 1989 show, and try to give it to him during the show, right?" And I think we made like some like sound effects of like us walking down the basement steps, pretending like we were going to the vault, and then we added the tape of the show on it. I don't know. We had a lot of time on our hands. So as it turned out, we went to the show, And we were there like an hour before the show started. And this is O'Kay's Corral, right? There's no, there's not a line forming. It's not that kind of that kind of a place. So we went in, and there was a van parked out front. And here the guys are hauling their gear in and setting up. And they finished setting up, and they were, just walked over to the bar to get a beer. And we're like, oh, let's go get them. So we walked over and actually shook hands with Jay Tiller and said, hey, here's this tape we made of your show last year, or whatever, 2 years ago. It was last year. And, he kind of like, oh, that's cool, like, stalker, weirdo. But he took it, so I have no idea, if you ever listened to it, but, it was fun. So then, this is the show from 1990. We actually stood on, there was a bench against the wall. O'Kay's Corral has burned down. It's no longer there. So, I don't know if any Madison folks are seeing this. And remember O'Kay's Corral. Right as you came in the door, there were like coat hooks and stuff right on the right inside wall. And there was a long bench along that wall. And Dalton and I stood on that bench through the whole show. And I had my tape recorder, and it was in a little, it wasn't a fanny pack, but it was like a little shoulder sling bag or something, and I just had it hanging on the coat hooks with the microphone out, so the sound was not bad. So, yeah, so I have those two. So, if there's any super hardcore Couch Flambeau fans out there, I'd be happy to hook you up. I think I have these digitized, so I have them on, MP3 files. So to my knowledge, they have, I know they have the album Dog Show, and there's like some singles. They did a cover of Mississippi Queen. Just a lot of weird releases. But if you're looking for something completely different, try to find this one. Does anyone else in the VC have this album? If you have this, show me. I'd like to see that. I wonder how many of these got made. $1983. So yeah, Ludwig Danier Records. Got this? Leave me a comment. Like Couch Flambeau? Heard of Couch Flambeau? Leave me a comment. I want to hear about you. Alright, that's it for my little history and Couch Flambeau collection. Talk to you later, y'all.